Ken Roc.
Ken, what's going on?
What's
How you
going on,
doing
Frank?
today?
I'm doing my best, bro.
So typically we have people on just to highlight, some things that they went through to really show others possibilities. And you got a very inspiring story. Lil reached out to you. You ended up making it happen. So typically just start off with a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, your upbringing, born, raised, and getting into your childhood a little bit.
All right. Basically, my name is Ken Roc Thompson. Born and raised in the Strawberry Mansion section in North Philadelphia. A little bit about my family and everything. Like my grandfather was one of the first black business owners in Strawberry Mansion area.
Okay.
Bought a store on the corner of 32nd and Cumberland in the 60s. Passed that store off to my father. I pretty much grew up in that store with my brother. Brother got killed when I was 15 years old, right there on 31st and Cumberland. I took me a left turn, started getting into the streets and all that. Wound up going to juvenile, Glen Mills School for Boys. Wound up coming home, getting back locked up, did the music, used to do the rapping and everything.
Okay.
Got locked back up, state road a couple times. Then at the age of 24, I got indicted, federal prison, 61 kilograms.
Let's slow it up real quick.
Yeah.
So you grew up in North Philly, Strawberry Mansion.
Yeah.
You say your grandpa had a store?
Yeah, my grandfather had a variety of convenience store. We
Okay.
called it a
Like
variety
a-
store back in the
Like
day.
a corner store?
Yeah, corner store. So, yeah.
Is that where the Dominican store is right now?
Yeah, it's actually still our buildings. So the Dominican store on Stanley and Huntington and the Dominican store on 32nd and Cumberland is still our buildings. It's still our buildings. My father started renting to them in like I would say around like 94. They're one of the first Dominican stores to come in. What happened was basically, it was just like my brother took a turn to the streets. I took a turn to the streets. And
At what age?
My brother?
Yeah, both of you. So
Oh, my brother was 19 when he got killed. He's 4 years older than me.
when did you both start
Well, he was
veering off?
before me. Yeah.
Okay.
He took off when he probably was 15, 16.
15 years old, okay.
Yeah. And I was like 11. You know what I mean? But not in the streets.
Yeah. But when he was getting into
when
it,
he was getting into the streets.
did you
So,
look up to him?
Yeah, my brother was my everything. Like,
Yeah.
like my brother was like, I walk like him, talk like him. And he been going since '97, and that's still my big brother. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you took that turn to the streets after he passed?
I feel like I took that turn to the streets when he passed. Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't even say after. I would say when he. It was because I just like dealing with that. 15 years old, and not knowing, like looking up to him, and when somebody died, like you supposed, like you got these mindsets or these norms in our environments, like the things you're supposed to do. Like somebody shoots your homie, you're supposed to go shoot them, or whatever the case may be. And with me, it was like I was 15 years old, my brother got killed, and he was in real situations when he got killed. It wasn't like he just got shot by the bus driver. You know what I mean? Like he was in a real situation.
Ongoing
Like
beef,
like you know what I'm saying. And honestly, I never been like the person like you wasn't never like Ken Roc and them coming. That was never me. I always been cool, thorough, chilling. But the I would say the pain and the pressure of that like drove me to do different things like pop pills, trying to figure out like what's next for me. You know what I'm saying?
So school, how was schooling growing up for you? Like, were you good in school? Were you always in trouble? What age
Yeah, I
did you
was
like?
good. Yeah,
did
I
you
was
graduate?
Yeah, I was an academic plus boy. You know what I mean? I was
You
always
look like it
smart.
now.
Yeah. I was always smart, but I actually graduated from Glen Mills School for Boys, from a juvenile facility.
Okay.
Because I wound up getting, I was at Mass Bomb, got kicked out of Mass Bomb. I wound up going to Mansion, and when I was at Mansion, I wound up catching my juvenile case.
First case ever.
Yeah, my first juvenile case.
What
yeah.
what was that?
I had a drug case.
Drug case?
Yeah, a little drug case. And I wound up going up. We had drug case, stolen car case, all that. And then when I was going up scandal.
You ran.
Yeah. So my judge, since I was up scandal, sent me up Glen Mills.
Okay.
I went up Glen Mills at the age of 16. I wound up going up there to the age of 19. I graduated from Glen Mills.
So
You
what?
did 3 years.
Yeah.
Around what year was this? Like in the 90s or early
99,
2000s?
I went up there. I did like 2 years. Like it was like 19 months. It just my
Okay.
ages threw it off. but it was like 19 months, and I graduated from Glen Mills. Yeah, got
so
my high school diploma.
So you're good in school. Your brother passed. That sent you on another path.
Yeah.
So then you started getting in the streets more. You said drugs, violence, stuff like that. Then you went to Glen Mills. How were you up there? Like, were you like, I'm gonna try to do good now? Obviously, you got your diploma up there, but what about like your mindset? Was it still the same?
I would say Glen Mills, that's why like environments are so big. Like one thing about Glen Mills, they got a thing called norms, like expected behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And they got basically like, it's like a college campus. But it's a double-edged sword with me with Glen Mills, right? Because growing up where we grew up at, it's like you had these people that you looked up to. Like you had all these names, like Lil Boo's or whatever the case may be. I used to look up to.
Yeah.
But all of them went to Glen Mills. So when it's time for you to go to Glen Mills, it's like you just...
Like a badge.
Yeah.
Like you look forward to it.
Yeah, it's like you on the route right. You on the right route.
Yep.
Like I'm up the Mills now, cool. So I go on my home passes like I used to see them come on their home passes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All these things, but at the same time,
You're just falling into the same paths as
yeah, but
the ones you look
it's
up
a
to.
desired path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like nobody like that's the best thing in the world. 15 years old, being from 29th for Lehigh. Yo, I'm on. Where you coming from? I'm on home pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's thorough. Like I'm on home
Yeah.
pass. You know what I mean? I'll be out
Well,
here.
what does that do for you, right? For other people that are not really in the streets, or it's like, damn, he's in some shit, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's like, I don't really want to fuck with this dude. He's getting locked up.
You're like, he the
Or
man.
He's a man.
Yeah.
And then like girls, we already know girls like bad boys, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're more attracted to girls. Oh, he's only down for the weekend.
Yeah.
He's going back. So I can see why. Like it
Yeah.
entices some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It entice you, and it's like in the hood, it's like you looking for anything to stand on. You know what I mean? Like any type of props or any type of pride, because you're not taught that you anything at all. So it's like, all right, this is the route. So if this the route that such and such went, now I'm going that same route, and it come from where you from too. Like I'm from like Strawberry Mansion. My mom was from like Lehigh side of Strawberry Mansion, and Lehigh side is like you supposed to get some money from Lehigh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, that's what I was. I was a person that wanted to get money. I never robbed a person a day in my life. I never stuck nobody up, never burnt nobody, none of that. My whole thing was I'm gonna take the route of being a person that get money.
Yep.
And
Well, you build in the streets. You like either build your way up, your like ego up a couple ways, right?
Yeah.
You're either getting into some money, you're either catching wreck and they're fearing you, or you're a pretty boy and you're getting the chicks.
yeah,
It's like you try to stay well rounded and be all three. Like I don't want people to fuck with me. I still want to get chicks, but I'm more focused on getting money. Like that's like the three main things. Even for me, like growing up, it's like kind of want to be well rounded. I want people to respect me. I want to get to some money and I want to get the chicks.
Yeah.
That's just for me personally.
Not for
but-
everybody from the
yeah.
streets. You know, people take different routes. Everybody not well rounded like how you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Some people just get a rush out of chasing wreck and people fearing them.
Yeah.
Like they know they're never going to get a chick, or the chicks ain't their strong suit. So
especially nowadays.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, but at the same time with Glen Mills, I think too, it was like, it saved my life too. You know what I mean? Like, because before I went to Glen Mills, like when my brother died, bro, I used to get in the car. I couldn't drive if I wasn't running red lights. You know what I mean? Like I was running red lights, running stop signs. Like death, it was like I was chasing death. You feel what I'm saying? And Glen Mills kind of put a pause to that with me. It's like
slowed you down a little bit.
yeah, it slowed me down. It showed me that I was smart. You know, you ever been up the Mills?
Yeah. I did 14 months in the
Yeah,
Mills.
I was what you call it? I was student council up that joint.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
I did well up there.
Yeah.
I was a student council, so it was like at Glen Mills student council, you pretty much get paid $25 a week just for being you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like I did well up there. And it was like I had these, ideas and goals and what I was supposed to go to college and all that. You know what I mean? And I went back.
So you came home from Glen Mills, what, 18, 19?
Yeah, I was turning 19 years old when I came from Glen Mills.
Did you have like a plan, or what was?
When I came from the Mills, it was like I had a son now. You know what I mean?
Oh, you had a son during this process.
Yeah, I had a son. I had my son while I was on the home pass.
Okay.
Yeah,
He was
I
busy.
had a son on the home pass. But I had him when I came home, so I was like a father. You try and do the, you know what I mean? You want to do the family thing. None of that really worked out. Lo and behold, I start back, hustling, going through down periods, up periods. And I really, just got into hustling, you know what I mean? Got into grinding. And like I said, I did the music thing, and I had a nice little name and all that with the music.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of people with the music. Just my character, I'm an easygoing person. So when it was time to get work, I always could get work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always was kind-hearted. So if I got work, then whoever, a lot of people got work.
Blessing the people around you.
Yeah. So as that went on, I got caught up this, caught up that, caught up this.
So did you catch, you said you went upstate.
I never went upstate.
You never went upstate?
No.
Feds?
Yeah, state road to the feds, yeah.
So after your juvenile case, your next case was a big case?
No,
or did
I
you get
was
like a bunch
21,
of
little state cases. Little city cases, county cases.
probation?
11 and a half to 23s and stuff like that.
What happened is crazy because I wound up getting an extra 10 years for this case. When I came home that summer from the Mills, I got a case hustling on the corner on 28th and Somerset.
Okay.
I was out there drawing. I still remember that joint. I'm out there with red sweatpants on hustling. You know what I mean? Some low sweatpants. I got booked. So I got booked with that. I wound up getting 11 out of 23 for that case.
What you get booked with?
Some attempt to deliver.
Okay.
Sold to CI.
And you got 10 years for that?
No, look, I'm gonna give you.
Oh, all right.
I got 11 out of 23 for that.
Oh, all right, bet.
But when I call my Fed case, you get a 10-year prior. You got an 851 clause. So you got any prior drug case, they could double your mandatory minimum.
Damn.
So my mandatory minimum got doubled from 10 years to 20 years because of that case that I caught when I was 19 years old.
Because it was a similar case? Like it was
just
a possession?
drug case. I went to trial in the feds.
So when you got locked up for you had a possession with intent, I was going to say you couldn't get like a drug program or?
It was. I got what you get. You get 11 out of 23, go to the county, come home in 5 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got the regular, but anybody that get a drug case, if you go federal, they got a clause called 851 where they could double your mandatory minimum.
Crazy.
Because if you plead, say for instance, even if you get found guilty for a drug case, they might give you 11 out of 23, but the maximum time you could get for that case is 10 years.
Yeah.
So the feds would count that maximum time that you could get, not what you got.
Okay.
And they could give you, if it's 5 years, they could jump it from 5 to 10.
It's up to the judge's discretion?
851 is up to not the judge's discretion, it's up to the prosecutor's discretion.
Okay.
So an 851 clause is basically a weapon that they use to get you to cooperate.
Try to take a deal. It's like leverage they have against you.
It's leverage that they have against you. And it's up to them solely if they want to drop it on you or not.
So what age were you around? So you did 11 hit to 23?
Yeah.
What age were you around that time?
Like 20.
20?
Yeah, 20,
Then
21 years old. Yeah.
A couple other cases before the big one? Or
Yeah, I think I had a GAT case. I beat the GAT case. Had an abscondal case. Then one case, when some young boys beat somebody up on Dover Street, I got booked for that. It was like a meatball, John.
Yeah.
Damn.
Young boys beat somebody up at doing this bar. They came to the block, swept the block, booked me for that.
So your early 20s, it's just like prison in the streets, right? It's just
Yeah,
like in it,
back and
jail, go home, or I'm absconding. Now I'm still running from the police. I'm looking over my shoulder. How was
Chaos.
Yeah, what was your mindset then? I'm just curious of like, you're just living day by day. Did you have a goal when you were hustling? Did you have like an exit plan or anything? Obviously, me and Lil talk about the goal is not to get caught, obviously, but did you think future thinking at all at that point? Especially like young guys that are doing this now, like your future's so important, but it's so far away when you're that young.
I think in those ages, it was me, like my whole goal was like to get the block popping. Like that was my whole joint. Like we're gonna get the block popping, we're gonna pull 10 grand a day. We gonna, it's loyalty, family. You know what I mean? It was just like
a
about
movie.
our block. Yeah, it was just like living a false reality.
Yeah.
So at that time, you didn't care if it lasted forever. You just was like, we just hustling, we mobbing.
Yeah, we hustling. Like we gonna get the block popping. Like we want the block popping. We want, you know what I mean? Every day was about bagging up. You know what I mean? It was just, we was out there. And I think, like looking back on it, it's just like I call it the false reality, like living in a world there's no ending. You know what I mean? And what happened was I wound up getting shot up, though. I wound up getting shot up.
Over the block?
No, some bull crap.
Totally different? Okay.
You don't remember all that?
No, I was too small.
Yeah.
I was little.
So I got shot up on, one time, I got shot on 2 different occasions. One time I got shot was on 32nd in York, drive-by shooting came. I got shot in the foot. It was really nothing. That was, one shot.
One shot.
Yeah. Then when in 2004, I got shot up on Stanford's bar. Stafford's Bar, 28th and 100. I got shot 4 times. I shot them, they shot me. I wound up going to the hospital. Like that story, like crazy. Naasha, you know Naasha? Remember Naasha that died? In
yeah.
So
from Hollywood Street.
Yeah, they drove me to the hospital. The girls drove me to the hospital. We crashed on the way to the hospital. I got shot. I had 4 bullet holes in me, and then I got locked up for that because I was absconding when I got shot.
Yep.
And I wound up doing 5 months in the county, but I wound up healing in the county or whatever. I had like 36 staples in me. And when I came home from there, it was like I was focused. Like, you know what I mean? All right, boom, this what it is. You know what I mean? Focused, but it's still street trades. I had my man was getting it in.
Yeah.
So I wound up like going messing with him, and we was running around. You feel what I'm saying? And it was a lot of work, a lot of stuff. But at the time, I was only 23 years old. You know what I mean? And like I said, when I got indicted, that time I got indicted with 61 physical kilos cocaine. You know what I mean?
61 kilos of coke.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 61 kilos of coke, $76,000 in cash on me, and couple gats.
So
and
how did that happen, bro? My fault. Not to cut you off. I want to get to this. Like, how did it happen? Did somebody tell? Were they watching y'all? Like, did somebody put in an anonymous call? Like,
so to get into it, because I really try to leave it there, but I get into it like bland. No, it's cool. It's cool. That's what this joint about. I ain't trying to hide nothing, but at the same time, I don't be trying to open up old wounds.
Right.
With somebody who may feel as though a wound got open. But for the pit it short, like somebody tried to they try to grab my folks. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. They try to grab my folks, and then a shootout happened. And when the shootout happened or whatever, the cops wound up running in the crib. You know what I mean? And when the cops ran in the crib, there was nobody in the crib, but my fingerprints was on the scale, my fingerprints was on the heat sealer, and I had an old ID in the crib, and it wound up coming back to me. I wound up being on the run for it. So when I wound up being on the run for it, basically I went out New York for a while, and then they was like hitting my mom's spot, hitting my grandma's spot. My mom, I remember like it was just like, and at the time, like I remember like having a mindset like to go like just shoot it out. Like this what my mind was at, like go shoot it out. Like because at this time, this is what I was living for. You know what I mean? I was like living for like to die like a G. You know what I'm saying? Like, and being in the mindset I was at 23 years old. Now I think I was I was 23. That mindset was like I wasn't gonna let it be much longer anyway. You know what I mean? And it was just like in the streets, like what more you want? You know what I mean? I'm on the paper, like I was in the paper, front page, $6 million drug stash. I was finally the person that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like known as this.
So 2 things that I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first is they were allowed to hold that evidence against you without a warrant.
All right, so that's the trial. I went to trial in the feds.
Okay.
Majority don't. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. People cop right out.
Yeah. So what happened with that was
don't they have like a 90-something% conviction rate? The feds?
Well, they got a 90-something. Yeah, because they cop out. They got a 98% conviction rate because 90% of the people actually cop.
So what's the percentage of the people that actually fight? Is that like
it's like
50,
a 2%. Yeah, it's low. It's less than 5% that actually fight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and say I'm a prosecutor to give you that stat. But from my perspective on it and what I know, I haven't met too many. I was in the feds for 16 years. Yeah. I haven't met too many people that went to trial. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
So you go to trial, you're like, I'm fighting it because they didn't have a legal search?
Well, my plea was 25 years. So my plea was 25 years. I was 24 years old at the time. I wasn't taking 25. I wound up, the best thing I could possibly do was go to trial because I wound up beating 2 charges in trial that wound up put me down at 20. I beat a 924C, which was the shooting that they charged before, a 922G, which was the firearms. Yeah. Because I beat those, I wound up getting found. And this was to go back to the case where you saying, far as like the legal search and seizures and everything else. The thing was, the case was so big, like no judge wanted to dismiss it. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like they had physical drugs. Like the worst thing a judge wanted to do is dismiss that case. You know what I mean?
Because of the publicity and stuff like that.
Yeah, like how can you throw away that? You know what I mean?
Because the law, we don't make the law.
Yeah.
It's like you got to follow these certain procedures and laws, but now it's not beneficial to y'all. Y'all don't want to follow them.
Yeah. I mean, what they did was they got all type of things. They got what they call preponderance of evidence. They got all the feds. One thing about the feds, they got a loophole for anything they want to get a loop into.
Yeah.
So even with conspiracy, right? Conspiracy is what, 2 or more conspiring.
Yeah, it's the same crime. Yep.
I got conspiracy to the unknown. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is like, because now if the drug amount is over a certain level, it's like you couldn't manage that by yourself, so you had to be conspiring with somebody to run an ongoing drug operation.
With no proof, though, kind of.
But that's what they hit you with to try to get you to tell them somebody else.
Yeah, they hit you with that. And when you think about a jury trial, so a jury trial is all about who got the best story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not about the law. It's about persuading these 12 people.
Yeah, persuading these 12 people. And I wind up, for lack of a better term, like coming out, like I have no regrets. Like I wouldn't even, like honestly, sitting here today, sitting here talking to you, I would have rather did every day that I did than beat that case at the age of 24 years old.
Yeah, we'll get into that too. We'll get into that. So I just want to touch on real quick. They offered you to 25. You took it to trial. You beat the 2 gun charges, the shooting, whatever. Then you got found guilty of the drugs.
Yes.
And what was your sentence altogether?
It was 240 months, 20 years.
240 months,
yeah,
20
10
years.
20 years, 10 years supervised release, basically federal parole.
So you did the whole 20?
I did 16 on the 20. So I did.
They have good time in the feds?
You do 17 and a half off of 20.
Okay.
Right? I took the drug program, which took me a year off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Trump passed that drawing, it took 6 months off. When he passed the
violent offenders over.
Yeah, I forget the name of the joint right now. Yeah, so that took 6 months off me. So I wound up doing 16 on 20.
Yeah.
With the drug program.
So in turn, you got less time going to trial than you did with the deal they basically offered.
Yeah, the deal would have been 25, and I would have been a violent offender.
Okay.
So with the shooting or the gun, I would have been a violent offender. I wouldn't have been eligible for the drug program. I wouldn't have been eligible for the good time. I wouldn't have been eligible for like a lot of things that helped me out in my life at the same time.
So this happened around you were 23, 24, right?
Yeah.
So being though that you already thought that you weren't going to live much longer, and like you just said, you don't regret doing a single day. Do you feel like that saved your life and extended your life? Because you were moving and operating like you weren't going to live anyway.
Yeah.
So
I would say, like, honestly, looking back, like, I wasn't even built for the things that I was doing. You know what I mean? To be 24, 20 years old, like, running around like that, like, people would shoot you for $1. You know what I mean? And, like, I was, like, 130 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, I was a little dude. You feel what I'm saying? And I was running around. Like, I wasn't, like, I could sit here and give you story after story, but it's like I was like really running around, like I was in those spaces. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to be there and to be where I was at, and a lot of the things that like even like when Lil we was talking earlier about like just like the spaces that we occupy, and like sometimes we reach the limits of those spaces. You know what I mean? It was things even at that time I reached the capacity of the space that I remained in, and I feel like a lot of the things that happened because I couldn't. Or I wouldn't refuse to break that mood. Like I was still in Strawberry Mansion every day, still doing this every day, like running around, and really I wasn't supposed to because the spaces that I was in supplanted. Like I was supposed to break out of those spaces and not to be there every single day. You know what I mean? So a lot of the lessons that I be thinking about and pondering now is lessons that I should have learned when I was 23 years old. At the same time,
sometimes I feel like, I mean. That's a lesson that we have to learn, like to go through that. Like sometimes jail teaches that. I mean, I'm not saying go to jail, get locked up to learn your lesson. Especially nowadays, these young guys is falling out. They first case homicides and stuff and never coming home. But like you said, Glen Mills, certain things. I think I said this on another episode before. My grandma always told me either the military or jail, if you're not going to listen to me. You're going to listen to somebody in one of those two. I mean, exactly. So it's like sometimes we got to go through that to learn. But I mean, it help. I don't want to say like.
I know what you're saying, but I think it's about men though. I think jail is more so, or the military is more so about men than it is about that physical space. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think with with jail, the thing for me wasn't being booked. It was like being around men. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was about being around real values, real morals, real respect.
Real respect.
Yeah, it was not the same bullshit that we grew up in.
Yeah.
Oh, you thorough if you go shoot somebody in the face. Like, that ain't thorough in prison. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's like you just being around norms that help you grow as a human being more so than the space of
that we
being
didn't
locked up.
have in our household sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even if we had good parents, we still, like, a lot of our parents had us at a young age. So they probably didn't know how to teach us certain respect levels and stuff like that. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a good point that you make, that when you go to prison, whether it's Fed, state, whatever, you're there with men that learn through pain, like how to, like, you better respect them, you better be polite, you better, you know, value your time, you better have a structure in place to get through this time. And when even if you go to juvenile, you're there with your peers or kids, like other kids that are doing the same stuff as you. And then you kind of don't want to listen to that authority figure because it's like, you're not the same as me. Why would I listen to you? You don't know how I feel. You don't know about my struggle. You don't know about my pain. And then when you go to prison, obviously you got the COs in there and the staff there. You don't really, they don't know about. But then you're around other men that went through a lot of the same stuff. And like me and Lil, like, we built a brotherhood because we've been through a lot of the same stuff. And look, we don't want to come back here. We don't want to have to rely on our family again. We don't want to hurt nobody as far as our family or anyone else. So, like, being upstate or in prison, like, you're either forced to grow or you're just going to be the same person when you come home. That's I don't really see
Same
there's
mentality,
no,
different age.
I don't see no, like, real difference. Like, you're either gonna come out better or you're gonna come out the same.
Exactly.
And from what I see, maybe I see a lot of people changing. At least that maybe I'm gravitating towards it because it's the person I am. So I see like running to you, running to Lil, other people that all the other people that we were locked up with. I'm like, damn, they're doing pretty good. So. It's a blessing in disguise because you even said it, like, you don't regret a day. That's crazy to do 16 years and not regret one day.
Yeah. I think first of all, like what you were saying, like, it's the frequency that you want, first and foremost. Like, you're going to run into dudes that come from the same environment, but is out here doing positive things because that's your frequency.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You ain't looking for, you're not going, you know what I mean? Like, and that's so wild to me, right? Because sometimes, like, I run into good, and, like, the work that I do, like, sometimes, like a couple times, dudes hop on my DM on some crazy stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And I be like, yo, like, boy, tripping. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, I think that come from a lot of people that just sit back and watch and not understanding that people out here doing real work. People doing good because they working. Yeah. You know what I mean? They getting up in the morning. Like, I've been up since 6 this morning. Working. Like, I ain't just wake up, put a suit. You know what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, people who is out here reaping the benefits of what hard they did. Yeah, hard work. So it's just like,
I think a lot of it comes down to, like, work. Like, if you want to be successful or you want to stay out of trouble or you want to provide for your family or you want to have any type of goal or outcome, it comes from the work.
But it starts with your mindset, though, first.
It starts with your mind. But once you learn that I have to work every single day, like, you know me, even on the weekend, I don't got no days off. I'm working on something, whether it's myself or a business or the podcast or video editing, or I'm going to look at a house, I'm going to go buy a house, whatever it is. It's like, I know I have to get up and work today.
And once you get in that zone, you don't feel right not working. It's like, I don't got time to chill. There's so much going on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like you developed a routine for yourself. That's the thing that came from upstate for me. Like, I had a strict routine because it got me through my time, and I wanted to make the most out of the time. When I knew when I was up there that I was never going to get this much free time again to work on myself. I come home, you get all the distractions, you got family, you got girls, you got whatever. So I was like, I want to utilize this time and wring the most out of this sponge and get the most out of this time when I'm here. And I even think the same when I come home. I only get 24 hours in a day. I want to outdo myself every day and push the limits every day. But for any young kids, like, working is where it starts at. Lil said mindset, your mindset shift should be, I got to work. Because if you're working, you don't got no time for the bullshit. You don't got no time for the drugs, alcohol, partying, the corners. Like, you're working, and there's no negative outcome from working. Maybe a little burnout, maybe a little fatigue, but I go to sleep every night in my own bed.
But you're going to feel good about it.
When I go, even if I had the worst day, my worst day out here is better than my best day in there. And as long as my head hits that pillow every night, it's a win. I'm not sleeping in the hospital. I'm not sleeping in the jail, and I'm not in the grave. I won the day.
You won the day,
I made it through.
And it's crazy because I think when you go to the work mentality, it's always more you could have done.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I ain't need to do that. You know what I mean?
For
It's
real.
always more I could have done.
But that's
Yeah.
good though,
Yeah,
because
you know,
you're
yeah.
critiquing yourself and you're like, all right, maybe I could do this different, or
Yeah.
maybe I put an extra hour in at the office, or I should have spoke to that person when they was in front of me,
No,
and I was
for
a little,
real.
I was a
feel
little
the same
shy.
way.
Like yesterday or the other day when we drove by them dudes doing the art on the thing,
Oh, man,
I
I
beat
was
myself
pissed
up.
off.
Tell them about it real
Yeah,
quick.
I was pissed off. We rode by, we seen some
10th,
guys.
was it 10th and Cumberland or
Yeah,
around
like
there?
10th and, it was like 10th and, it was 9th and Cumberland.
Yeah.
It was these guys doing like this
Mural.
crazy, mural type artwork on like the outside where the basketball
Playground,
court
yeah.
was. And I told him, I'm like, bro, we should have stopped and got, you feel
Is
me?
that by the earth that got the lot with the vegetarians and all that in it?
That's down the street,
That's
I
10th and
think.
Cumberland.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's down the street. Yeah, this was like further up, like 9th, like in between 9th and 8th.
Oh, wow.
And they was doing like a crazy mural. We was telling each other like, yo, we should have stopped and just got some content real quick.
So first I was like, let them know they're doing a good job. Like you see them out here sweating on a hot day, like, yo, and it looks good. I'm like, yo, we gotta like compliment them. Like,
Yeah.
so we pulled up, rolled the window down, like, yo, you are killing it.
Yeah.
Because someone's doing that. It's good to hear that stuff. I want to hear it when I'm doing good. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So as we're driving away, we stopped the other guy real quick. Lil was like, damn, we should have got some content. We should have pulled up on him, asked him some questions. Because, you want to show the positive stuff people are doing. That's what we use our platform
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
And I
And
beat
show we
myself
feet
up
on
to
land,
the end
for
of the
real.
night.
Yeah.
End of the night, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, we should have stopped. It would have took us 5 extra minutes to
Yeah.
stop. But
Yeah.
it's a missed opportunity. And like you said, it's like always something else you can do when it
it's
comes to
always
working.
something else. Yeah.
Mhm. That's how I be even with the gym. You feel
Yeah,
me?
gym always something.
I'm burnt out when I'm in the gym, but then when I left, I'm like, man, it wasn't even as bad as what I
you were
was
going
thinking.
through it, it
Yeah,
was
when I was
tough.
going through it, I could have did more.
Another
Like
set.
I feel like I could do more.
Yeah.
The same way when we be working, man, it's no different.
So, Roc, how did you utilize your time? Bring it back to you. So you got your 16
Yeah.
years. What was your mindset with, like, when you first went in there? And, like, how did you start changing to become this, like, new person?
Yeah, I think when I went in there, first jail I went to was Raybrook, New York. Like it's
Oh, I forgot the Fed sent you all over.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
in Mississippi everywhere, bro. Yeah,
Damn.
so my first job was in Raybrook, New York, 9 hours away. It's 15 minutes to Canada. And when I went up there, it was like everybody my age didn't have my time. I was like one of the youngest people up there. And I always like give credit to my cellie at the time, his name was Marche. And what they did, they worked on their case all day, every day. So he got me a job in the library. So I got a job in the library, like first cleaning up and stuff like that. But my job was from like 12 p.m. to like 8 p.m. So like I really had no time. Like when everybody going to the yard, messing around, I was always at the library Monday through Friday. You feel what I'm saying?
Working.
Sometimes Saturday, yeah. But while I'm in there, like I'm working on my case. Now I'm starting to read books, starting to take classes, stuff like that. So I go there. I mean, it wasn't like a dramatic change there, but it was like, all right, I'm reading books.
You had that bug, that itch, like,
Yeah, like all right,
what
damn.
else don't I know?
Yeah, I could comprehend shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I'm reading and stuff like that. So then I went to another jail, Islandwood. I wound up crashing out there. That was in Pennsylvania. I was there for 3 years, and like I kept going to the hole there. You know what I mean? Then one time I was in the hole, I started writing a book in there. I was writing a little, like a hoodwinkle. It was called Soul of a Hustler. And like the character in the book was named Ishmael. Like the character, I realized that the character I was writing about was like who I wanted to be in life. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, dang, like why am I keep writing like all the good he doing in this community, and things that he come from? Like this is who I want to be. You know what I mean? So like I start like growing into that, and I start reading books in there. Like one book, Shannon Ram. It was this book, like a beautiful book. Start reading like Alchemist and all these different books. And I started getting inspired by reading and writing, you know what I mean? So when I wound up going to my next jail, because I was in the hole for like 11 months, I wound up going to my next jail, was McKean. And I ain't know, like I was just trying to figure, I knew where I was at mentally, emotionally and spiritually, but not like, damn, what I'm gonna do when I get home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, everything switched. I come home 24, I come home 40, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, so then I wound up getting this program. It was called a life coaching program. Wound up taking a life coaching program. Within this program, like, I'm doing all introspective work. I'm starting to understand, like, my emotional needs. I'm starting to understand all these things. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, really my catalyst for going the wrong way was my brother. I'm starting to understand, like, you know what I mean? I think a lot of times in my life, I was always looking for another big brother. So I was extra loyal to people that wasn't never going to be my big brother.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I had to understand, like, yo.
Or return that loyalty.
Yeah, return. Like, my big brother was never going to turn me down the wrong path. Or never think about himself over me. It was always me. My older brother was about looking out for me.
Right.
You're not going to find too many people, or maybe anybody that look at you with, besides your pop or your parent or your brother, that's going to, like, want to put you on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was used to. So I was always, like, extra loyal. Even to this day, like, I'm willing to go above and beyond for what I feel as though is right. You feel what I'm saying? What I feel as though is that tie. But I got to the point with that where I wound up doing 20 years in prison. You know what I mean? Like, willing to, like, to do everything and anything for, like, what I feel as though is love and loyalty. So once I understood that, I took the program. I start like teaching classes, doing parenting classes in there. I started developing programs. I was the reentry coordinator. Start putting together all these different things. You know what I mean?
No, I'm sitting here laughing because it's like, you know, like what you wanted to do when you came home. Yeah. Like you started off from reading all that. Me and bro was doing the same thing. Yeah. We started off teaching, going to the education building, teaching reentry, teaching brothers stocks, stuff like that, bro. Yeah. Everything you saying is crazy, bro. Yeah. It's like, and then we align. We sitting at this table together.
I think how you do, which like my whole thing with reentry was, whatever you did in jail, bro, you gonna do on the streets. If you was waking up 12 o'clock in jail, you ain't coming out this joint waking up 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah,
they sleeping their time away, so you gonna come out here and do the same thing.
Expect somebody to always, like same people where they might wake up 12 in the jail and ask you why you ain't bring back a burger. Dang, you ain't bring me back no burger from the childhood. Like, damn. You know what I mean?
So you recreated yourself in there, as far as like the books, the mentorships, the learning, the teaching. And what jail was that at? You said
that was at McKean.
Where was that?
That was in Pennsylvania.
That was in PA too.
And I went from McKean, Like I was like, we had to join in their reentry. Like the staff used to fight against reentry so bad at McKean, right? Because reentry is a threat to job security when it comes to prison. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know they just wasn't with it. But so when the warden left or whatever, I wound up getting transferred. I wound up going to Yazoo City, Mississippi. You know what I mean? So I went from Pennsylvania to Yazoo City, Mississippi. But, I mean, for the average person, when you think about Mississippi, what you think? Like,
what, racism?
You think racism, redneck, you know what I mean? But it was, like, totally the opposite. Yeah. It was like, when I went to Mississippi, bro, it was like 90% black staff, everything, right? Then it was like, it was love, like cell phones, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like helped me get ready. I was building websites on my phone, Android, inside jail. I wrote a book on an Android inside of prison. I was a GED teacher in Mississippi. I was the president of the drug program there. Like, and for a place that's so geo, that's what kind of like, damn, you really good at this, like leading and implementing programs and doing stuff like that. Like I was the president of a program in Yazoo, Mississippi. I was the only person from Philly on the block. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like 4 people from Philly down there. So it taught me so much. You know what I mean? So
that's like a testament just to your character and your leadership and like you're demanding now. Like not even like physically or verbally demanding. It's just your presence now is like, I can do this.
I'm here.
I'm competent enough for this. This is what I got experience in. I'm showing you that I can do this. Yeah. And then they just gave it to you. It seems like this person's the guy for the job, whatever it is.
And it came with a lot of blowback.
It looks like it's working out here too. Yeah. So what was after Mississippi?
Mississippi, I came home February 22nd, 2022.
So you got released from there? Go ahead, Lo.
Hold on, I got a question. So do they just automatically move you every certain amount of time? Yeah, or you got to put in a promotional or something? Yeah.
So sometimes you put in for a transfer, but what they got in the feds is, like when we think about the federal system, it's all about census counts. Okay. So census count is the more certain prisons need a certain population. Okay. Because that prison was built in this county, and that prison made a promise to this county to keep a certain amount of prisoners in the space because the prisoners getting counted on the census count, which add to tax dollars in this county, as well as add to representatives vote, like elected officials.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, you know what I mean?
It's wild, bro.
Yeah,
it's really like a slave trade,
it's
bro.
modern day slavery at its fullest. So if anybody ever go to like transferring, when you transfer in prison, like they got different, like we talking about Con Air, like I was on Con Air. I went from Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on the plane to Oklahoma jail. Like the plane pulled up to the jail in Oklahoma. You go from Oklahoma to, we drove from Oklahoma to Mississippi, 13 hours. So, like, it's just wild. Like, it's just a wild situation.
How do that go, bro? Like, how does that
bro.
work? Like on a bus, or you driving 13 hours? Like, do you stop and use the restroom? Nothing.
So you get like a paper uniform, like it look like a scrub, but it's paper.
Yeah.
You get like the styrofoam shoes. Like I remember being in Oklahoma, standing in front of the plane for like 2 hours, freezing to death. You know what I'm saying?
That'll
like,
break a lot of people.
and like the crazy thing, because I was doing a lot of studying at this time, like Black history, stuff like that. It was like when I was on this journey to Mississippi, it was like a spiritual drink for me. It wasn't like when I was on the Mississippi River, like when we riding through, like I knew like what the Mississippi River entailed. Like the Yazoo City, Mississippi jail, like when I read the book Roots and everything, like they spoke about Yazoo City, Mississippi. Like it was the most treacherous space in the history of slavery. You feel what I'm saying? The Black Delta. So now I'm going to this jail. I'm like, yo, like Fletcher Cox from Yazoo City, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Kenneth Gainwell from Yazoo City, Mississippi. You know what I mean? So it was like when I was going here, and the prison within itself was on the old swamp land. So it was like it was a spiritual thing for me. It wasn't just I was on a prison in Mississippi. It was like I'm here for a reason. Like I'm from North Philly. What the fuck I'm doing down here?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was bigger than just being in jail.
Yeah, you took the most out of it. Like
Yeah.
you got the most and tried to make a purpose. Like, what am I
Yeah.
here for? What's this teaching me? You're here for a reason.
Yeah. Like I taught GED down there. Like it was big. Like I was a GED teacher. You know what I mean? So it was like, damn.
People can't even do that on the streets.
Yeah,
For real.
like, yeah.
How does that work in there? Did they like the COs and the staff respect you more, or they look down?
Well, what you got
upon
down
that
there
as well?
too, like, I mean, when you dealing with a lot of blacks too, you dealing with a lot of bull crap too. Like,
Yeah.
not saying like blacks bring bull crap, but a lot of times people had a mentality where you only like dislike your own, or feel like whatever the case. It might not just be blacks, it might be anybody. People dislike your own, or feel like you think you something because of this. And then you got the city country thing as well. Oh, city slicker, just because you from up north, you think you smarter. Or things of that nature as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you ever seen Life, like New York City,
Yeah.
like that's like we was down that joint in Mississippi.
No,
So it was like, but at the same time, I used to take it as like I used to tell them, I envy y'all more than y'all even understand me. Like y'all from where the history at. You know what I mean? Like with being from this space it's more camaraderie, it's more unity, it's more understanding, purposeful communication. Like it's more working together. You know what I mean?
Hospitality and everything.
Hospitality. It's more of that. You know what I mean? The only thing that is hurting them down there is they infested with the gang culture. You know what I'm saying? Like it's GD's vice lords and stuff down there. Like Chicago is just a reminiscence of Chicago is Mississippi. You know what I mean? Everybody, 90% of the Chicago is relatives to Mississippi. Because when you had the Great Migration, they moved up from Mississippi to Memphis to Chicago because that's the way the trains operated. Right. Same thing, like in Philly, it's a lot of like the Great Migration is North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland because of the train routes. When you had the Great Migration,
Crazy.
you had blacks coming up north for like jobs during World War II and World War, the jobs was up here.
Yeah.
So they put them on trains to get up here to work. So that's why you see like a lot of your people, if they from down south, they from Philly is usually North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia.
Yeah.
My folks
My
from
great
Virginia.
grandma was from Virginia
Yeah,
too.
California is Louisiana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chicago is Mississippi, Memphis, because Memphis is the first city, and then they went from Memphis to Chicago on their way to New York. Everybody wanted to get to New York.
And it's crazy because all the metropolitan areas are heavily populated with more black people than you know any other cities.
Yeah, and that's what
That explains why.
the Great Migration. The Great Migration is a big thing that happened in America. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where you get the subjugation of projects and things like that. So when you had so many blacks coming to these cities, it was like, what we gonna do with them? Oh, we gotta create
Housing for
housing for them. So now we subjugate the high-rise projects, we might subjugate 2,000 blacks in a 5-block range. You feel what I'm saying? Because now they subjugated in one area. And now, all right, they're going to work at the factory. We got a factory around the corner for them. It's just like if you go to Mumbai and you go to like Taj Mahal, they created slums for the people to work. You know what I mean? So if they was building a big building in Mumbai, they'd create a slum for the people to work there to actually live.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
crazy.
Like, it's deep. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
educating me. Right
Yeah,
now.
it's deep.
Me
Educating
too.
Yeah,
Me too,
you got
for real.
redlining and all these things. So by me learning this, like, it's like, all right, I'm learning this. You know what I mean? For what though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's about too. I used to always look at like, you ever seen Black Panther the movie?
Yeah.
All right, so Black Panther the movie, he could take in any energy and exert it in any way he wanted. So a lot of times when people learn about history or black people learn about history, it's like it creates an anger. You know what I mean? But it's like, all right, what I'm gonna do with the energy? I'm gonna be angry with it, or I'm gonna transform it into something positive.
Man.
So I
You
be
know what I'm
telling-
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep. Yeah, rare.
Yeah, because what it's doing, it's say if you're angry, mad, frustrated, that negative energy, you gotta let it out some type of way.
Yeah.
That's why people go to the gym. That's why you take it out on your. I tell Lil, take it out on your
my
hustle.
Real
Take it out on
rap.
your hustle.
Real rap, bro. Real rap.
So you get learn all this stuff, become this new educated, well-educated man, leader in there. You come home and 2022.
Yeah, so I come on February 22nd,
That was like yesterday.
2022.
Yeah. Was you nervous? Like, how was it, bro?
I was anxious.
You was
bro.
anxious?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
real
Were you
anxious.
scared at all?
Nah, I wasn't scared. I was anxious. Like,
Yeah.
I was anxious. Like, when I came home, like my whole thing was first and foremost like reinventing myself in the eyes of my kids and everything.
You have one or two
I had
kids?
3 sons.
3 sons.
You know what I mean? I got 3 sons and a grandson at this moment.
Okay.
So it was about like, like showing cause a big motivation was my sons. Like
Yeah.
through my whole bid, like, dang, I got 3 sons. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a father, and I've been preaching to them the whole time. So I can't like be faking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Be a
Come
hypocrite.
home.
Yeah.
Be a hypocrite. Come home and just look for the bag. You know what I mean? So when I came home, and then I knew what I was coming home with. I was coming home with this, whatever the reputation may be. You know what I mean? It could have been thorough, could have been this, or whatever. You had different names or whatever. But I knew what the case, my case, it's a joint. So people expect you to come home like, oh, hop in the Benz, you know what I mean? I was get money, boy. And it really, I could have took that route. You know what I mean? I came home, bro. I got a $9 an hour job, bro.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Did you
Yeah.
have a plan? Like, I'm just trying to work as soon as I come home.
No, really, it was about schooling.
Okay.
So I went to school.
When you came home?
Yeah, I went to get my certification in life coaching.
Okay.
So I took, when I was in the halfway house, the way I halfway house get a gig. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got a gig around the corner, Baker Industries, $9 an hour. I went around there for 4 hours a day. Then I used to go to the library, do my classes on a computer. First thing I ever popped when I got home was a MacBook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brand new MacBook from the rip. That was my first possession. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So everybody, yo, what you want? Woo, man, take me to Apple. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? First thing I still got my same MacBook.
How long was schooling?
Schooling was like 3 months. I wanted to
Okay.
get my certification doing that. Then when I did that, I was still looking for a gig. So I went there. I went to Hope Cookies after that. Then I went to Target, Sortation Center, the warehouse, King of Pressure. It's like a $19 an hour job for good benefits. Target, all right. I did that. I was a trainer in 6 weeks. Then I went to school. I was in Target because they had free schooling. I wound up getting a certification in frontline leadership and management from the University of Denver. I became human resource specialist in 5 months. So I was at Target.
Yeah, around.
Yeah, I was in there. I had a little cubicle, all that. You know what I mean? Got my son a gig there, a couple young boys on the way. Like,
But that little bit of time, you're same thing. Like I said, like you're pushing the limit.
More.
Like
What
foot
I
on the
would
gas.
say
Foot
about
on the
it
In
gas.
your belly, bro.
yeah, but what I would say about Target, what gave me an advance, a competitive advantage in there was, first of all, being home, like after 16 years, like every day is an opportunity. Second, it was a warehouse. So a warehouse is prison. You know what I mean? Like Target had an initiative where they wanted to hire, like poverty or impoverished individuals. So it was a lot of dudes from the hood and dudes that returning citizens and all that on the floor. And you was in work 10 hours a day. The average person is bitching at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was just booked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 10 hours a day.
I'm happy to work.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I was just working for 20 hours a month. $20 a month. You know what I mean? So Target was I
how
jumped
much
up
cents?
when I was in Home Rio, I jumped up from 19 to 27. You feel what I'm saying? An hour. So it was like I was pushing ball, which is like I was comfortable in leadership positions. And then I was always a liaison from upper management to the floor. Because I could talk to upper management.
You can talk to the guys
and
on
I'm
the
floor. You know what I mean? I understood the capacity of both things. So I had interviewed, they had told me to interview for this joint, a training specialist. They was opening up a brand new warehouse in Chicago. I was my gig. I was like 98% there, I guess. Like they was helping me find apartments and all that in Chicago. And a pushback happened. Like, basically, like my belief is the network wasn't comfortable with me being the lead trainer at a brand new
Facility.
$200-300 million facility.
And you only been in the business for probably
5 months. And I was just coming home for 16 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my whole dynamics was like, if y'all got an initiative to hire like dudes coming home, you got to understand who you hiring in Chicago. It's gonna be gang infested.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So how you gonna maneuver around a gang infested floor? You feel what I'm saying?
But you was kind of familiar with it from Mississippi, though, right?
Yeah, I was familiar with it from Mississippi. But it was like, that was the lady wanted me to get it because of that.
Yeah.
But they wasn't comfortable
So
with
the
it.
thing is, I'm thinking like you're the perfect fit for that.
Yeah.
Like who else has to be more qualified than someone that been around, the gang stuff and
Nobody. He's the most qualified person.
Exactly. So it could be like just
It
the
was
timing
skepticism.
might not have been there either. It's like this guy been here a year and a half and he don't had that opportunity.
No, 5 months.
No, but I'm saying other
Yeah,
people.
another
been
guy,
like,
year and a
you've
half.
been here
Or
2
we could
years.
just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because what I found about, and it's just not to point out Target, because Target provided people with great opportunities, bro. Like to come home, $19.30 an hour, Target got the better benefits than the city. Like when I used to look at my benefits joint, it wasn't nothing I ain't get a discount on. Like I wanted to buy a football from Modell's. I ain't even Modell's no more, but Dick's Sporting Good, it was a discount on there.
Yeah.
No matter what it was, I wanted to go to the movie, they had a discount on there.
Yeah.
Good benefits and free school. My whole thing was you could go get a bachelor's degree. They had Guild for free.
Yeah.
Like,
Dang.
you know what I mean?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and to be like 19 years old, 20 years old, to go get you $20 an hour, and the work is not even hard, and to go to school for free, like, it really don't get too much better.
Yeah.
And the opportunities within the space was good. Like, it's people there that, like, may have been working at Amazon and all that, that's right now maybe making $80,000, $90,000 a year as an operational manager.
Yeah.
Like, these is true stories. I went from 19 to 27 in 5 months.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And went from on the floor. I walked in Target, bro, with an ankle monitor on my ankle, scared that they was gonna turn the metal detectors on, to being openly. I did 16 years in prison doing NHOs. You know what I mean? New hire orientations, like speaking to the network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a good opportunity, but my whole thing was, you could provide a person an opportunity, but you got to let them know what the opportunity is.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't know what the opportunity is. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I could give you like this coffee. Like you asking me how many beans. I don't know how many beans. I ain't never had the coffee with the beans.
Because I'm pretty sure it probably was people that been there for years that didn't make it to the position that you did. In
Well, you're
5
driven.
months.
You're you're different. You're a different
Yeah.
breed.
He had
So
that fire in his belly too.
he's driven. He's driven, and he's trying to maximize every day out here.
Yeah.
Just because of everything, dude. You were driven in prison when there is no instant gratification tied to it. Like it's not like you read a book, you get a check.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So you're doing that for self gratification, but people. That's what you broke it down perfect. You said like people don't understand opportunities.
Yeah.
You have to be driven, and if there's no opportunity here, and I'm maximized here, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I think that's probably what happened, right?
Yeah. I went from Target to CareerLink. So I started working for CareerLink. I started doing, I was a reentry specialist for CareerLink. So basically what I did for CareerLink, like dudes come home, I go to halfway houses, help them out with doing, job readiness, basically resume. Dudes come home, like I ain't had no Gmail account. I ain't never knew I had an email account in my life. My first bank account was in February 2022. Never had a bank account.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I understood that. Like, dudes coming home, help them do an email, correct email, you know what I mean? Put the resume together, things like that. So while I started doing that, I started doing the SMU thing in the hood. So we started doing like the free community workouts in the neighborhood.
While you were doing that too?
Yeah, so we was doing all that at the same time. So I come home from CareerLink and go to the hood. We do the free community workouts. In our neighborhood, we exercised over 2,000 people last summer. You know what I'm saying?
And what SMU stand for the
Strawberry
people that
Mansion
don't know?
United. That's the organization in Strawberry Mansion. So that was the idea I had when I was in prison. Strawberry Mansion United was basically like, you know, just the uniting of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So what happened was the councilwoman, Cindy Bass, of the 8th Councilman District, was basically from 22nd and Lehigh all the way up to like Chestnut Hill. Caught whiff of what we was doing, reached out to me and recruited me to be on her team, basically to be an alternative violence strategist for the district, the 8th District.
It's an alternative violent...
Alternative to violence strategies.
Okay.
Like just figuring out ways, supporting people with ideas of whatever we can do to... Alternative to violence is pretty much anything positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever the case may be.
What's our
like,
defense against the violence, basically? What can we do to stop it? What can we do to minimize it?
Or offense. You don't necessarily have to be defense. You can be proactive as well.
Yeah, we on offense. Like we pushing ball.
Yeah.
So that's the space I occupy now in City Hall.
And you're not at CareerLink anymore?
No, I work for the city now.
So you quit?
I left,
Like
I
you
resigned
respectfully
CareerLink. Yeah. That was a little joint for me. So it's like I didn't want to, because they like created that position at CareerLink. And it was like, dang, I ain't really want to leave CareerLink. CareerLink was cool, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it wasn't really, I ain't gonna say it wasn't purposeful, but it was like, to me, it was just like, I was doing resumes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do resumes
How
now.
did it, but for another thing, like you're helping people that were in the position you were in, or that are trying to look for a job, look for an opportunity, that got to be rewarding. Like, I'm helping this young man get his life together. Like,
I would say it was rewarding, but I felt like when people, this ain't a slight on no CareerLink or nothing, but I felt like when you think about CareerLink, you think you really about to go get a job. Like the brand is that big. Like I'm on a CareerLink, I'm about to go get a job. But it's all type of bells and whistles with that. Like that's understanding the way CareerLink and other entities like that, they get paid from providing a service. Yeah. So you know what I mean?
So it's a nonprofit.
Yeah, well EDSI is the nonprofit. Okay. It's Educational Data Services Incorporated. So anytime somebody come, you logging in the data, and they getting paid off the data. You feel what I'm saying? So, and not saying EDSI is or whatever, but I feel like it's a lot of organizations out there that exploit situations for what they are. Yeah. And they get paid for situations.
All they see is numbers and names, and it's like they're marking off the checklist. We met our quota, some type of stuff like that. But it really takes the people in the organization to try to push it to be something more purposeful.
Yeah, but a lot of times people may be in those, and it's dogs, it's so much bureaucracy.
Starts with the higher up. If they don't care, then the next one's not going to care, and it's going to stop at some point. You can push it to a point, and then it's like,
what can I really do here? And I feel like the space that I'm in now, I do resumes now. I do way more now.
So what exactly, I was going to ask you, so what's your, right now where you're at, your job duties, roles, responsibilities, and where do you see like yourself even going with this opportunity too?
All right, so for instance, like today, I've been out and about since 6 this morning. Yeah. First thing I did this morning, we set up a tent on Broad and Erie, just an outreach program. Basically, like we got a few community watch day coming up. People could go do laundry for free. So Joey's basically like promoting things that the councilwoman got. Just so, because when we hear about politicians, we hear about politicians just being there when it's time for vote. Well, she just got voted in, so I think now is being out in the community. Like, you have voted us in, and this is our role while we in here. Yeah. So that's my space, like, touching the community, knocking on doors. Like, what can we do to help?
Being active in the streets. Yeah. So after that, that was 12. After that, we had a meeting with P3, Office of Violence Prevention, PAN, and Ceasefire in Philly to gather information for the Rasheed Wallace Day coming up, June 21st. So we're going to do an event centered around violence and alternatives to violence, just trying to build coalitions of people doing the same work. So spearhead that through the councilwoman office. After that meeting, I went to Still Elementary School to have a meeting with parents and teachers about the things that's going on with the violence at the school and trying to form a better relationship between the teachers,
and the principal and the community as a whole in the Nicetown area. After that, basically, I was on my way here and basically got a call from Imhotep High School about an idea that she got. So it's like, this just today.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And it's like just being like, no understanding, like last week, the kids, 25 kids from Ghana, from Imhotep went to Ghana in Africa and created a water stream, clean water, and put together prosthetic leg for people that was amputated. And we had a chance to spearhead that and celebrate them in City Hall. So it's just certain things that I got my hands in. It's like I just feel more purposeful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It's like I feel at the end of my day like damn, yo, you touch people's lives, and it's like you can't do everything. So some people get let down. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because there's so much work that needs to be done. But it's at the same time like I'm blessed for the opportunity that, you know what I mean? First and foremost, I'm most likely, I don't know for sure, but the only person in City Hall with a badge to City Hall walking around there with 16 years in federal prison in my tag. And then being in the spaces that she put me in. Like, I don't care who it is. It could be Kamala Harris or President Biden, whoever come. If they talking about violence or if they talking about anything that she feel as though I could have an input with, she'd put me in that room.
That's
you know what I mean?
So do you see yourself getting into, like, politics eventually?
I think, like, where I'm at now, it's like, I feel like at this moment, it's like, I got, like, maybe 3 to 4 different things that I can do.
Okay.
And every day that I'm making decisions or withholding myself from making a decision on what I want to do. It can be politics, but the thing about politics is, like, it's politics. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's politics. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't with it. I also see myself going back to school, maybe like being a professor, like getting like a PhD in sociology or human, you know what I mean, human behavior, just like stuff like that. Like maybe I'm 42 now, I'll go with a PhD, it may take me to like 50. Like I wouldn't mind being like a professor, like at a college or going to Ghana and being a professor over there.
You the shit, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're doing it, man.
Like,
I salute you, man, for real.
Like, I feel like this was my path at. So I could be a politician.
But who even knows, though, because you can run into somebody next week and it's like another opportunity comes.
Yeah.
And then now you're like a chairman at something else. Like,
no, that's going to happen. That's going to happen,
yeah.
bro.
Or you might have an idea that pops in your head and you're like, I want to create this and like respectfully step away from the city job. But now I have a bigger purpose here where I'm bringing people on and we're really making a change.
Yeah.
It's like you have so many things you can do right now, bro. It's inspiring, honestly. Like,
It's scary too, though. Because it's like you want to make the right decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like my day-to-day, I was having this conversation the other day, and I was saying, like, damn, all right, I got a nice little salary. It ain't nothing crazy, but it's an all right salary. And I was like, damn, if I was to be doing what I was doing, like, from the mud, like, and I was making this salary and I was being this impactful, like, would I be happy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to say I'm happy. Like, I don't know if I'm chasing happiness. Like, or productivity, like, or like to make an impact. I don't know what I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I got this thing, though. It's called, like, you familiar with the 4-minute mile?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
All right. So the 4-minute mile is like, in the 50s and 60s or whatever. No one believed you could run a mile
until it
in 4
happened.
minutes. Yeah, until it happened. So I feel like, and that's like what I'm working on. Like I wrote,
it was considered impossible. No one could ever do it.
Yeah.
And then once one person do it, everyone's like, oh, it is possible. Everyone started doing it.
Yeah. And started breaking his record.
Yeah.
He ran a 4-minute mile, and then next month somebody ran a 3:58, 3:57. You know what I mean? So it's like that's like my joint. Like that's like when I want my memoir to be like the 4-minute mile. Like my race against basically poverty, violence, incarceration, and reentry. Like I just want to do things that like nobody, like, not saying no. I don't want to be I did this. Look at me. It's just like, yo, this shit. You could do this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can do it. Like. So that's just
one
like
thing I know
thing.
for sure you're doing. You're being an example. Like that's first and foremost. You're showing people possibilities. You're showing them hope. You're showing them after 16 years, like in a short period of time, what you did in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot right there. That's like what I'm gonna tell you should do. keep getting on podcasts, keep making content, keep getting in front of people, keep getting in front of schools. Because the cool thing about the internet, right, is you can go and speak in front of 30 kids, or you can go and speak to a jail with 100 people right there. But with the internet, you're reaching thousands of. This dude got 100,000 views on one of his posts.
Yeah.
Like that's 100,000 people getting his positive message.
Yeah.
So like I would try to build up your social media presence, because if you want to be the most impactful and you want your message to go far, use the internet. Like that's why I tell him get on camera.
Real rare.
Like it's just why not?
It pans out.
Hey, I'm doing this today. I'm doing this today. You know, every chance. And you were doing your podcast thing too.
Yeah.
Try to bring people on there. It's tough doing. I got 2 businesses, 3 businesses. Lil got nonprofit, his stuff with the houses, and we're still trying to put out the positive message, and we're not getting anything in return for this. But you know, hopefully, it's changing people. I get DMs left and right. Lil gets messages every day.
Yeah, all the time.
So I feel like the internet is the most. What you say? You YouTube something? The internet's so powerful. Like if you don't know how to do something, you can YouTube it. I set all this stuff up. I talked to one person. He wasn't around the one day. What I do?
YouTube.
I jump right on YouTube, right on Google. Learn how to set all that.
What I just do at my property on YouTube.
Exactly.
For
So
real,
the internet's
on
so
YouTube
powerful,
and
and people think like, oh, he got an ego. He always want to be on camera, or oh, he posts too much. Well, look at the changes that it's having. Look at the impact it's having. That's what one piece of advice I'm gonna give you. No matter what it is, if you go back to school, whatever, always use this platform, because like this one piece of content could get circulated for 10 years. This stuff can get shown in a school in 5 years, and it's still gonna be relatable, because there's that person that came home and only did 5 years, and they don't think it's possible. They don't think it got hope. It's like, all right, he went to Target, he did this, he started working at this place, didn't figure it out here, then he went here, and it's just so valuable. And your story is. This is what we do this for.
Yeah, man.
This is what we do it for. It's for
real.
stories like this. Like,
For real.
Sigh.
It reminds me, so a lot of people that we had, bro. It reminds me of this reel I seen on the internet, since we speaking about the internet, and it was like they did this study, and they had fleas in a jar, and they put the top on. Before they put the top on, the fleas was jumping out. They put the cap on the jar, and the fleas got tired of jumping, so they only stayed at a certain level. So even when they had babies, I don't know what you call them.
It came in they genes.
It came in
learned behavior.
Exactly, the learned behavior. So even when you took the top off, the fleas never jumped out of the jar because they taught that, and it was like a learned behavior. Like it was like
it's kind of like the 4-minute mile, even like no one ever did it, so it can't be done. Obviously,
exactly,
so no one ever
bro.
jumped out of here, so it can't be done.
Exactly, and where we all come from, bro, Kensington, Strawberry Mansion section, we don't see people often that make it out from where we from, if they went to jail or didn't go to jail. So it's like that's our mindset, that we gonna live and die the same way those people did. But we like a perfect example that it can be done, man.
And that's why the internet's so powerful, because you can highlight this stuff. And this is what the Streets to Success podcast is about showing that there is possibilities. And I want to have you back on in another year, because if you did that far in, 2022 to 2024, I want to see 2026.
Me calling like Rock, let me hold some.
I'm like, can you pull up in your limo and pick us up? Secret Service with you?
bro.
I don't know what it is.
I'm with the president, love.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I was in the joint 2 weeks ago where I went to the DNC joint. It was just mind blowing. The president and all that was there.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was right there with the president, but he was like to the window where I'm at.
Yeah, you're in
And
them
Kamala
areas
Harris,
now, in them
and
rooms.
I'm like, God damn. Like in my head, I'm like, yo, I was just in the joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in this joint with
You
the
barely
president.
seen a Wharton, probably. Man, you seen the president.
Yeah, I'm in this joint with the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I mean? And like all those people, like the mayor, I see on a constant basis. Like, like all these people, like I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, like I'm in this space. Like I got it. Like I could go in City Hall right now and get in. I could pop in. I can go to City Hall at this moment.
Can you get my record expunged?
So you got a state. So I do expungements.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I was just kidding.
so we just had an expungement clinic. Didn't you come to the joint?
No, I didn't make it. I couldn't
All right,
make
so
it
we
up
had a
there.
expungement clinic on 20. That's one of the other things I did. Well, we do. And my rule is. So we did an expungement clinic on Panatti Playground, 22nd Allegheny.
I think.
And we had over 1,000 people show up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get expungement. So, like we do expungements. Well, we put the process together.
Yeah.
So with you might need a pardon because you was in state.
Yeah.
Expungement is pretty much, say me and you, not me and you, but say you got in a knuckle with somebody 10 years ago, and you keep wondering why you ain't getting this apartment. But that knuckle, that's that fight on your record. So you got Aggie on your record.
Same my cases there.
Or you got something that you beat that's there. That's you could get it expunged. But with you and everything that you're doing, you can start putting together your pardon process now, because what's going on at the state level is they putting more implications on people getting pardons, because what you got, or not with you because you got your own business, but a lot of people that got jobs, a record is basically an invisible anchor that's holding you back from different wages.
Right.
Yeah. Same thing what happened with me and Target. Now, I would have jumped up, but because I had my record, it wasn't like my wages. I couldn't get that wage that was there waiting on me. But because I'm not able to get that wage, the majority of Philly taxes is wage taxes. Right? We don't get it in Philadelphia. We don't get a lot of money from property taxes because our biggest businesses are nonprofit organizations, hospitals, and colleges. So a lot of our taxes for Philadelphia can float with wage taxes. So the lower my wage is, the more you pay in taxes.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we can figure out a way to get everybody's wages high, then people's taxes get lower. So the state level is putting more implications on people getting pardons. So you can start that process.
Yeah,
ASAP.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's heavy. You might gotta wait till you get all papers though.
Yeah, I got a year, 2025.
Oh yeah, you
I'll be off.
good? Yeah.
So Lou, you got any other questions to end this up? I got one more, but I'm gonna save it for the end.
No, I don't think I got no more questions. That was
You got his number. He's gonna text you with a question.
No, that's good.
So Ken, if you could like leave this off with something for the youth, or some people that are just stuck in a tough spot, what would you tell them? What would you like your inspirational words be?
I would think, basically, like, I'm gonna say what, like, things I go through now. Like, every day, like, be comfortable being in the space that you in. You know what I mean? I feel like with me, like, be a trailblazer. Like, I think with me, a lot of time in the spaces that I'm in, people may try to categorize me as just a boy coming home from jail. You feel what I'm saying? And when you exceed those expectations, they want to push back on that because they supposed to be better than you. So I would say that whatever situation you find yourself in, push yourself to the max and don't dumb yourself down for the comfortability of other people.
But what if you just thought that though? What if your whole thing was, I'm just someone that just came home from jail. Like I ain't, like believing in yourself. Like you had to believe that you're more than this situation is anyway. Because like when you were working at Target, you didn't just think like, I got this dead end job. I'm still on parole. They're watching after me. I got a piss in the cup, whatever. But you still seen that there was more inside of you than other people even seen.
Yeah, he looked at it like Target was an opportunity, and he moved up the scale at Target. You feel me? Before he graduated to something else.
It's
so
crazy,
on and
right?
so
And
on.
I know we wrapping up. So
Yeah, you good?
It was just when I was booked. Like I always one of my goals was like, all right, I'm gonna put my plans together and connect with Puma. Cause I liked it what Puma was doing, like community based. I was always saying if I get a brand behind me and push with the brand, then the opportunities are limitless. Like whether it was whatever, Dream Chasers, Puma, Rock Nation, whatever. Cause I had this plan to go around teach the youth. But if we could get this brand and these connections, I could do it. So first it was Puma, and when I got with Target, Target is my Puma.
Yeah.
Cause I was doing it with Target. Like I was pushing with Target. And now the councilwoman is my
brand.
Puma. Yeah. Like she the push. She is everything that she is, you know what I mean? And I move under that brand and move.
I just want to see when Ken's going to be that Puma.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be the Puma, I think, the way you're moving.
Absolutely.
I don't know. And that might be something I got to get over, right? So, and I'm a bang. You said one thing, so it's this story. I read it in Think and Grow Rich, Black Choice, right? The Kimbrough joint. And it might be in the Think and Grow Rich, the original. It was two dudes. I'm going to just say Joe and Mike. I forget their name. And you might know the story. Joe and Mike, one day Joe was on a railroad track. It was land tracks, right? He was hammering the tracks. And he seen this dude come up with a suit. And he looked up, and it was Mike. And he looked up, he said, and Mike was now the owner of the company. So he looked up at Mike and said, damn, Mike. He was like, I remember that we used to be laying tracks together. And Mike looked at him and said, that's where you got it all wrong, Joe. He said, you was laying tracks, but I, my friend, was building a railroad company. And that been my mindset ever then. Like, I don't go to work. You know what I mean? I go to like it's purposeful.
Yeah, you're building you.
Yeah,
I'm building the person and the reality that I want to build.
You building your brand without even knowing it, or not. Well, I don't know if you
story.
realize
It's
it or
a
not,
story,
but
though.
you are the brand, bro.
Everything you're doing is a part of your story, and your story is always going to be inspirational. That's going to be the sales pitch.
He is the brand, bro.
Yeah.
He's the brand. Right.
Great story, man. I really appreciate you coming, Ken. Anything else you got to say, Lil? Anything?
Yeah, it was
Before we
just.
wap this up.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Love.
Real rap, bro.
Real
Real rap.
house, man. So it's a wrap, man.